I don't know if he needs an apology. He needs Zelenskyy to recognize the position that he's in.
Which to you is what?
We're their patron. We're their best hope for the killing to stop and for them to emerge from this sovereign and prosperous. And we're also their best hope as a business partner. I mean, all Zelenskyy had to do today was put on a tie, show up, smile, say thank you, sign the papers, and have lunch. That's it. And he couldn't do that. And this followed 10 days of being difficult in private and now 1 day of being stupid in public. This did not have to go down this way.
Okay.
And however you feel about why it started, why it's going on, who's right and who's wrong, we can help them in this and come out okay on the other side, and he's making it hard.
Now, first of all,
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually agree with Scott. And everything that he said was basically right.
Wow.
I know. I'm going to get killed on social media for admitting that, but so be it. And the fact is that it doesn't matter whether Vice President Vance planned it or just took the opportunity to bait Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy took the bait, okay?
Yep.
And he shouldn't have. He made a mistake.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about some reactions to what was probably the most historic White House Oval Office meeting that we've ever seen, okay? President Trump ended up kicking out Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the president of Ukraine, due to the fact that Mr. Zelenskyy clearly doesn't want peace, okay? He's not trying to negotiate in good faith. President Trump and J.D. Vance ended up setting Zelenskyy straight and then kicking him out, sending him on his way. Okay, in the mainstream liberal media, they have been melting down, boohoo, whining, and crying ever since then.
We have never seen anything quite like what happened at the White House today.
Today, Donald Trump irreparably destroyed the 80-year-old post-World War II international order.
An Oval Office ambush of an American ally that will reverberate all around the world and stain America's image for years to come.
That was, to say the least, the most contentious confrontation between world leaders perhaps we have ever seen, certainly on television.
It was a truly historic moment, not in the good way. One that I fear realigned the world order, upending the only foreign policy consensus that most living Americans and Europeans have ever known.
I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. What I saw is a complete transformation of what the United States is in the world.
Certainly was a day of shame for the United States. That clip, the footage of the Oval Office meeting, is going to be shown for years to come by politicians, government officials, historians, university professors, because it very clearly captures the moment when the Trump administration sent a signal that it was ceding America's traditional global leadership role.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say we as a country have never quite seen anything like this particularly appalling spectacle before.
Diplomacy is not negotiating in public in a spray. The more I see the dialogue, the more I feel like Zelenskyy was ambushed.
This was an absolute disgrace.
Yo, with this level of a meltdown, you know for certain that what President Trump and J.D. Vance did in the White House to Volodymyr Zelenskyy was good for this country, okay? Anytime they're boohoo whining crying about this, best believe what President Trump did was a good thing, because ultimately at the end of the day, these people are refusing to acknowledge reality. And the main reason is because they're propagandists, right? They all know the reality, but they don't care because they're stuck in this post-World War II Cold War mindset where, hey, we have to oppose Russia no matter what, even if it makes absolutely zero sense. And in the case of this war, there is no outcome, okay, at least as of right now, that even comes close to what Volodymyr Zelenskyy is asking for, okay, which is to be a part of NATO and to get all the territories back that Russia now basically occupies, like, for example, Crimea, okay? That's not happening, okay? And realistically, it's not happening. But, hey, this is what the liberal media wants people to believe, that we must continue to spend tax dollars into perpetuity to fund a war that, realistically speaking, doesn't have a good outcome for Ukraine in the long run.
Who needs to issue an apology tonight?
Absolutely. He should have done it already. He should have done it in the Oval Office. If you look at the totality of that meeting, 40 minutes of that meeting, dare I say it was a perfect meeting. And I'm being ironic in that a little bit. But it was positive, it was cordial, and it's on camera.
it wasn't until Zelenskyy got upset with J.D. Vance when the vice president said, and he was absolutely correct, that the previous administration was more interested in vapid wordsmithing than they were in bringing an end to this conflict. They cared more about applause lines at Davos than they did in ending the war in Ukraine. And he was correct about that. Zelenskyy was upset, and quite frankly, he was testy throughout the entire meeting.
Zelenskyy was upset because he was trying to make the point, and Alexander knows a lot about this.
No, Zelenskyy was mad because he wanted to hear the president say that Russia is bad, Russia is bad. How do you negotiate?
It is nonsense. It's completely historical. This is the second administration of a president that oversaw 4 years of war between Russia and Ukraine, didn't do anything about it. Now he thinks he has this idea to bring peace. And what does he do? He bends the knee. He appeases. His goal is to appease Putin. What he should be doing is figuring out the fact that you're right. The Biden administration didn't do enough. But Russia's on the ropes. And the way you get peace is you get Putin to negotiate. You get Putin.
So you get peace through a resolution at the United Nations. That means absolutely nothing. We demand that you withdraw.
6 administrations have tried to conduct
they try with words.
Policy of appeasement.
And Russia has been at war since the Russian Federation came into existence.
Actually, it's been in war since 4 years of Trump also, don't forget. He didn't manage
Since 1991, they have been almost at war the entire time. Crimea, Chechnya, go on down the list. And it's words. But my point is America.
So why are we guys, hold on a second.
Russia is on the ropes. Russia is on the ropes. This is what they're saying. This is what the propagandists are saying on national television. Really? Really? Russia is on the ropes. Again, I don't want people to get confused. In no way am I pro-Russia, right? I am just a realist, okay? In the sense that, I personally think that it is not worth the United States funding this war into perpetuity with no long-term realistic plan on how you're going to achieve peace, right? None of these people are able to articulate exactly how is it that continuing to fund this war is beneficial to the United States outside of, Russia's military suffers some damage and Russians get killed. And, outside of that, what is the benefit? Because don't get me wrong, I understand the neocon argument, okay, for this, which is that, hey, Russia is our enemy, okay? They're a threat to Europe, okay? And ultimately, having Ukraine fight this war and we fund it means that we don't have to lose soldiers, at least as of right now we don't, okay? But who knows, maybe in the future it can happen. But as of right now, it's just the Ukrainians dying, right? And they're killing the Russians for us, okay? And that's a win-win for us. And, my moral compass says, you know what? I don't know about that, right? I don't know if, it's right to have Ukrainians sacrifice their lives for a goal that, honestly, at the end of the day, I think is unrealistic, okay? But again, if they want to do that, if they are convinced themselves that they can take back the territories that Russia took, if they can do that, great, that's awesome, right? Go do that. Except we are just not going to fund it, right? We should not have to continue to participate in it because, again, this is more of a threat to Europe than us. And because of that, Europe should primarily be footing the bill, right? If they want to continue the war, okay? And look, hey, I'm all fine and good with that, right? I'm not telling them not to do it. I'm just saying that using our tax dollars to fight the war is not something that I am particularly interested in right now. It's not in America's best interest. But hey, according to some people, according to these influencers, if you don't support this war into perpetuity, then you are a coward, right? The same people who are not fighting the war, the same people who claim to love Ukraine and Zelenskyy so much, but yet they're not fighting on behalf of Ukraine. Again, fascinating stuff.
Just 5 days ago, I was sitting meters from Zelenskyy in the room behind me, and I was struck because it's the first time I'd ever actually seen him before. But I was actually sitting opposite someone that genuinely seemed like a really good and decent person, someone that actually cared about fighting for their own country, and someone that is the opposite of Trump and Vance. And there was even a moment I kind of smiled and he kind of smiled back, and he just genuinely gave me the impression that he was a good person. And when he was declining the offer to evacuate from Kyiv during the invasion, when he said, no, I need ammo instead, that proved him as a true world leader. And that is what pisses off people like Trump and bullies like J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance and Trump, by the way, who are too scared to come to Ukraine, too terrified. They admit this in a conference today.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
They said that they didn't want to come here, and they don't want to come here because it's actually real what is happening in Ukraine. And they're cowards, and that's why they're bullies, and that's why they did what they did today to Zelenskyy, because they're intimidated by someone who is actually got respect of people in Europe and around the world, respect that isn't bought by people and salesmen and snake oil salesmen like Donald Trump.
Yeah. So according to the influencers who are not currently on the battlefield fighting the war, you're a coward if you don't visit Ukraine, right? That's the argument that he made when it comes to President Trump and J.D. Vance, right? They're cowards because they haven't visited Ukraine. But yet, again, these people that continue to call other people cowards and that claim to love Ukraine so much, they're not fighting the war, okay? If you love Ukraine and then Russia is so bad, okay, if they're so bad, then I don't know. You could just take a flight over there to Ukraine and help them out. I'm just saying, put your money where your mouth is if that's how you feel about it, okay? If it's that big of an issue, okay? If Russia is that big of an existential threat, then all these pro-Ukrainian people in the United States of America, okay, that are so upset over the prospect of peace can go over there and, hey, they can help out Ukraine, right? I'm just saying, it's nothing stopping them. We've had people do it, and they can continue to do it if that's what they want to do, right? I'm just saying, if they feel so passionately about this, because apparently some people do, to the point where you have grown men breaking down in tears, literally in tears, on TikTok over Zelenskyy being asked in the White House why he doesn't wear a suit. Yes, this is real. A grown man, an influencer on TikTok, broke down in tears over Zelenskyy being asked about why he doesn't wear a suit. Hilarious.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you own a suit.
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting.
I don't have such. I will wear a costume after this war will finish. Yes, maybe something like yours. Yes, maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper.
This man is fighting for his country. A sovereign nation got invaded. His people are dying. And this motherfucker talks about him wearing a suit. I hate this fucking country. I've never in my life felt like I do right now. I don't give a fuck what he wears. This man has been respectful to every leader in the world. Everybody. And you clowns want to fucking do that shit to him when he comes over here. And then talk to him like shit and kick him out of the White House. You fucking disgraceful son of a bitches. Man, I just want to be next to Zelenskyy right now. I wish I could talk to him. Forgive us. God damn, man, I can't. Sorry, y'all. I can't believe what I just witnessed in our White House.
I just want to be clear. I'm just laughing at how over the top this man is, okay? The war in and of itself is not funny, right? It's not something to laugh at, obviously, okay? But if you care about Ukrainian lives so much, this is my argument, then why is it that you don't want peace? I don't get it. These people that claim they care about the Ukrainians so much, for whatever reason, don't want them to stop dying in this war. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't. I personally, I feel like I do care. I don't want the bloodshed to continue. So therefore, I am advocating for peace, right? For a ceasefire, okay? So that Ukrainians stop losing their lives. For what I feel are lofty goals. But hey, you know, if they're proud people and they want to fight it out themselves, it is what it is. I've already, you know, hammered that home. This individual claimed that he wish he could be next to Zelenskyy. And it's like, well, what stopped you, brother? What stopped you from being next to Zelenskyy? Since you love him so much, you can take a flight over to Kyiv, right? Just like all these neocons and Democrats did. And you can be with him. You can be with him, right? In fact, I don't know why you're not already there. Why are you not already there? You need to be there. You need to be in Ukraine, okay? If this is how you feel, if you feel this passionate and you're this emotional, I don't understand why is it that you're not in Ukraine right now doing your part? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Since you hate America, right? You hate America. Then, again, why are you here? Why are you here? I don't understand these individuals, right? You're balling, boo-hoo-whining, crying on TikTok, making a fool out of yourself, looking like a soft, weak, emotional man, but yet you're not in Ukraine doing your part. Something's not adding up here. Something's not adding up. This guy sounds like the blacks, right? Who be talking about how much they hate this country, how racist it is, but yet they don't want to leave. I don't get it. They sound just like the other people as well, too, the LGBTQ. Oh, this country's so terrible. We hate it here, but yet you're not leaving. Again, that's what really bothers me about these liberals. They're all about this low-effort virtue signaling rather than actually putting some actions behind the things they claim that they believe in, the things that they claim they're so passionate about, right? But, you know, the Democrat Party, they are filled with low testosterone men and high-calorie women. Clearly, in this situation, we're probably dealing with a man of lower testosterone levels, and that could be the reason why he's crying, right? That could be the reason why he's bawling his eyes out, but yet he's not going to fight the war, right? Actually, that's the perfect explanation for it, because that's the only logical conclusion I could come to in regards to why is that we have a grown-ass man crying on the internet over a war that he's not willing to fight. Because if the man was of high testosterone levels, hey, he might be willing to go over there and fight that war. But since he's not, he's just sitting in the United States, boo-hoo-whining and crying, talking about how much he hates this country because we want peace. Because we're trying to save Ukrainian lives. It's kind of crazy to me. It really is. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.